Yeah, I played a lot of video games back home. A lot of Fortnite, a lot of COD.
Get your guns ready, boys. Today we're doing gun drills.
Okay, but Sarge, is this a burst assault rifle or a SCAR?
What the hell are you talking about, boy?
Hey, Sarge, I'm about to do 3 sets of where we dropping it. So I figured those skills would translate to real life. Those skills did not translate to real life.
What's good, bro? Bro, was that you screaming just now?
Oh, that wasn't me.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I don't know who the hell was shooting at. I think I might have shot Sergeant Kelly. What's Sergeant Kelly look like again?
Dang, bro.
Dream, there were young men. There were young men that were in old army uniforms, the old BDUs, like 90s uniforms, not necessarily World War I or II, but they were in like 90s army attire. And they were all younger than me. All these men were younger than me. None of them were millennials. They were all Gen Z men. And they were running into a battlefield. Now, let me describe this battlefield to you. It was very big, it was very wide, and it was dark outside. So it was nighttime. So the grass was dark green, but had that very much black hue over it. And the men were running into the battlefield and being shot down. I mean, shot in the head, shot in the chest, shot down. It was every last one of them. They were all running out with weapons. They were running out with old guns that the military no longer uses in combat. M16s are not used in the military combat anymore. And they were running out there with them, and they were not using them properly. They were flailing above the head, going, ah, and then, ah, and they're running out there and dying. They were just getting slaughtered. And the thing is, nobody was actually shooting at them. They were running to a tree line, a dark tree line. And as they would run, bullets would fly out from over there. They were just flying. And you couldn't see who was shooting. There was no person over there actually shooting. They were running to a dark tree line and just being shot. They wouldn't even make it to the tree line before they would be shot. This field that they were in had to be about the size of maybe a football and a half, long, a football field and a half long, and it was being covered in blood. The men were being picked up by these old looking, I want to say World War I, the terms World War I keep popping in my head, but they look like World War I ambulances. And the medics kept trying to come out there and pick up the bodies and pick up the wounded. And there were so many young men dying and being shot and wounded till when wounded men were collected by the medics, they would eventually die, because what was happening is there were so many dead men that 7 of them would be stuffed into the back of these ambulances at a time. They would be stuffed in, and the wounded would die because they were among the dead. It was so much dying going on. It was horrific to see. And the scene ended up turning red. These young men were going out there and dying and not even having a chance. Like, they wouldn't duck. They had no guidance. They had no formation. They had no understanding. They literally did not know how to fight in this battle. And they were just running out there and charging and being slaughtered. And so the ambulances weren't even being touched. That's the thing. The ambulances were clean, but they were very old. No rust or anything, but they were very old style, like literally World War I old. I don't know why I keep saying World War I, but the medics themselves were never being shot. They were helping, but they weren't being, they were out there, but they weren't being shot. So now that was the first dream. And by the end of the dream, the field was covered in blood that would not dry up. It was blood it would remain red. It covered it was so much blood, it covered the dark hue.
Shalom, shalom, Israel. First and foremost, want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto YAHAWAH, BA'Hashem, YAHAWASHI, BA'Hashem, RICANS. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to mighty Akim, Wathiam, who are diligently waiting to be delivered from this final captivity. This is Brother Kawakab coming at you with another lesson. Shalom to the speckled bird that may look like the other nations, but are actually Yasharallah. This is Brother Kawakab. Yeah. Basically, today's lesson is going to be on these two videos. I thought, because the thing is, I was watching this video like literally on my free time, and then I just noticed how like wow, that is strangely, it reminds me exactly of this guy's dream. And I just thought, this was the spirit, because this sounds exactly like what's going to happen, because you had all this stuff about YANs and all these different people, and like the draft, and that was another thing where there was a bunch of there was this one woman that I remember particularly speaking about this, where she was saying that I know you guys are probably going to be drafting people, but if you draft me, you cannot have me in the next to like bombs or something like that, because I'm so sporadic or whatever. I'm going to accidentally blow us up or whatever. That was basically what she was saying. And I don't think it was in a sense of she was trying to say that she was going to intentionally sabotage, but she was saying it in a sense of like she has like some sort of medical condition where, like, I don't know, it's like those intrusive thoughts take over and make you do not necessarily make you do something, but you allow yourself to do certain things that that just don't make any sense. That's basically, I think that was what she was trying to say. But yeah, basically that was basically the thing, and the connection, and why I saw this video, and then thought of this video as a result of it, and I had to make a lesson, because this is a thing that is going to happen in terms of actually get that a bit more, because, well, first off, let's start here and then we'll go more. Matthew chapter 24 verse 7: for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. All these things are the beginning of sorrow. So let me also get this, because I just remembered another one in Revelation chapter 16 verse 14. For they are the spirits of devils working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world, to gather them to the battle of that great day of YAHAWAH Almighty. Basically, the thing here is you have these people that are all getting ready for said confrontation, the World War III. All right, and let me actually see if I can get third. The next one, Revelation chapter 11 verse 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh. All right, basically the World War III. Let me see. Whatever, it's fine. But basically, you understand how there's going to be a war, and I believe through the Spirit that this is basically what's going to happen. Because I don't really know. I don't think most of us know exactly how the the draft is going to be, because it could be primarily just not millennials. I think he said Gen Z. It could be just Gen Z, which maybe, sure, that makes sense. Okay, or it could be more. It could be millennials, and because I think I heard somewhere that they said that they are trying to raise the retirement age or something like that for the military, where it's not. I think it used to be 62 or something like that, but now it's going to be higher or whatever. So then these older veterans and whatever can actually continue to be in the thing, but stay in the military. And the thing about that is how what's the word? I'm trying to remember the term, but basically the stuff about this is how they just want more and more people to the slaughter, more and more souls to their destruction, more and more souls to their deaths and whatnot. That's basically what is going on with the how many people can we get, and it might. Again, there are a lot of things that go into this whole draft thing, because they're thinking that, because I'm thinking, Slakia, okay, this is not any prophecy or anything like that. I'm just thinking that mental health might just be ignored, and because mental health is at an all-time high, or everyone just has mental health issues, or everyone claims to have mental health issues. If not, they actually do. All right, but also, and that's another thing where people now, they like to say it that they have mental health issues or trauma or whatever as a badge of honor. All right, because that's just how this wicked ass society has become. But also, I think one of the actual genuine potential reasons why someone might not be able to. Why someone might not be drafted is because of physical, not necessarily disability. Yes, disabilities obviously, but more so okay, this person's physically unfit and whatnot. Where I think that's going to be a big thing for people that are going to be exempt, given that this person's legs, they're faulty or whatever, so let's leave them out. This person's arms, this person's back, this person's nervous system or whatever, there's going to be something or whatever, because it might not even have to be just that. It could be more than just that. It could be something else. It could be mental health issues or something else. But that's the thing where for us, we just have to trust that YAHAWASHI is going to make it so that whatever it is, that the Lord's going to keep the elect out of said draft. And I do believe that it might be not exclusively, but primarily, I think that's the key word, primarily men that's going to be drafted in the thing. I was thinking that, they are kind of thinking about putting women into the draft, especially with how society views women nowadays. But again, I don't know. I'm not really, and I don't really care about the specifics for that. It's just, whatever. They're going to do whatever they want, and something's going to happen, and we can expect to see something soon. But next, continuing on, 2nd Ezra chapter 14 verse 17. For look how much the world shall be weaker through age, so much more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein. And that's another thing where the world has gotten weaker through age. I think they said that testosterone is at an all-time low in men and stuff like that, where I think not. I don't think I think it's in general, the average testosterone level for men is lower compared to 20 years ago and stuff like that, and so on and stuff like that. I think it also applies for women as well. I could be wrong, but don't check me on the women thing, but you can fact check me on the don't quote me on the women stuff, but you can quote me and fact check the men testosterone stuff. And I also think I heard that testosterone in women is higher now. I think I heard that potentially. That, don't quote me on that, but whatever. Continuing on, 2nd Ezra chapter 16 verse 33, verse 31. Even so, in those days shall be 3 or 4 left by them that search their houses with the sword, and the earth shall be laid waste, and the fields thereof shall wax old, and her ways and all her paths shall grow full of thorns, because no man shall travel therethrough. And that's the thing where when a lot of these men are gonna die in these and he actually said that, by the way. I'm gonna put the link to this in the description. He's basically goes in and says when the men die, a whole bunch of women are gonna be like, I need to get remarried because my husband died in the war and stuff like that. And that's basically what's going to happen, and because a lot of the men are going to die because of the up and coming war. All right, as in biblical prophecy. All right, so continuing on, verse 32. And the earth shall be laid waste, and the fields thereof shall wax old, and her ways and all her paths shall grow full of thorns, because no man shall travel there through. The virgin shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The woman shall mourn, having no husbands. The daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. Okay, basically, you see the different terms that they use to describe men: bridegrooms, husbands, and helpers, and whatnot. Let's go, continuing on. Maybe one more. Verse 34: in the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. Basically, the men are going to die from the wars as well as famine. So we just saw one example. Where it was the wars in this, but there's also the up and coming famines, especially with the trouble with the whole mismanagement of food and the farming crisis that's actually going on, that's currently going on. All right, so yeah, that's basically what's going on and something to look out for. All right, so with that, I pray this was edifying. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI, but honestly, elders and apostles, great most son of God, and Shalom.